through what it's like a day in the life for a senior digital designer. If you're trying to become a senior in your position and you're a digital designer now, I'll kind of go over a few little extra tips and tricks in that way. Or if you're listening because you're thinking about making a design shift in career, maybe you're not even a UX designer or a graphic designer or print designer right now. Maybe you're something completely different and you want to switch industries completely. Or if you're kind of looking to change within the creative umbrella already. I want to give you all the insight so that you know if this is a good fit for you. First of all, I want to go over who is right for this kind of job. Senior digital designer. That means there's some juniors under you, probably some freelancers. You have a middle manager boss who's kind of a creative director and who probably micromanages the crap out of you. And they probably don't know how to use any of the programs, but they've gotten to that position because of their experience in the field. Or they really know how to use the programs, but they got in that position because of something else. It's not usually always experience. It's more about who you know and how they act as a manager type of person, and not really like they were a senior digital designer and then became the manager, or they started as the junior, then the senior, then the creative VP. I think it used to be that way, but it no longer is. So I think we should just all adjust to the reality of what I'm saying. And I just want to tell you right now that your VP or creative director has a lack, and you as the senior designer is supposed to fulfill their lack. And it's not really like a fair fulfillment proposition, because in exchange you probably should like learn something from them. And if they're unable to teach much because they don't even know the programs, or they were never really in this industry before, they're not actually a creative, then, that's kind of like a double lack. But, it's not a quid pro quo situation. Hopefully they're nice, and then it's not so bad. And then above them are the 50 billion stakeholders, CEOs, presidents, all that stuff. And then laterally you're working with a marketing team, a merchandising team, sales, developers, etc. So that's the structure of this job if you work at a corporation as a senior digital designer. We're going to go over that first. Day in the life of a freelance digital designer is another kind of video I'm going to do. But stay tuned right now to learn more about how to be a digital designer. That's a senior position in a corporation at a major business. I've had experience luxury fashion, fast fashion, luxury beauty, fast beauty, home decor, accessories, just everything that's kind of in the feminine wiles and e-commerce direction. I have to be an expert in Figma in this position. You really, you'll pick it up. Don't worry about it. If you want to do some tutorials, whatever, it's totally not a big deal. Download my templates, and if you need a template and they ask you for one, buy one of my templates. It's really no big deal. To learn, it's super easy, and I think you already know it. It's not the same as when somebody was like, you really need to know Photoshop or Illustrator. Times are different now, and I think a lot of people are a lot more digitally native than they think they are. So if you're an artist already, you're going to get it. It's going to be okay. Figma was created for people like us. It's just like Adobe too. It's truly intuitive for an artist, and I'm positive you'll be an expert in no time. I'm gonna also have some tutorials here to help for senior digital designers in particular, because a lot of tutorials are kind of about making apps, and they just get to some serious nitty-gritty stuff, which is awesome, because that's why I love YouTube. But I think we need a few more videos to help you in particular with this particular job, because what a senior digital designer does, chapter 1, is we make banners, landing pages, home pages, ads, emails, like digital marketing collateral, and advertisements, video editing, social media videos, animations, and that's it. Just really banners, homepage, landing page, web pages, entire sites, and we also design apps when we get the chance to, but I think you'll often find you just get stuck always updating banners for the homepage or banners for a landing page that's been previously designed before. And there's no harm in that. It's just kind of funny. And sometimes you get the chance to animate these things as well, or maybe make a video for these things as well. Often we do not. Often that should be a video editor's job. And sometimes we implement these things. We publish these things on a Shopify website, an e-commerce website, a handmade website with code. So if you have an inkling towards Java, script, HTML, or CSS, that helps. You don't have to know that right now. You just have to look it up in the moment to see like what you mean. And it's really amazing as a senior digital designer if you're able to use UI and UX skills towards the responsive experience, the scrolling experience, the hover state, the click, the CTA, the colors of everything, and the branding experience of it all. Technically, that should be the branding designer. Technically, that should be the developer. Often, you just become the unicorn that does everything, which is kind of cool, but it's all about timing, and these deadlines are out of control. You have to do all these things maybe like within 2 hours or something. And of course, it's never approved then. If something's created that should take months and it's created within an hour, why would anyone say, okay, go to press, go to publish, go to put that online live? It's, needs to have more thought involved. But things are very chaotic right now, which is a great time to enter in because there's no hard and fast rules here. It's not like if you're a doctor or something and you have to perform an appendectomy on somebody and you just kind of YouTube it. Like, you actually have certifications. Like, there actually is like a whole point to it and a whole thing of how you're supposed to do stuff. There is not a way you have to do or you're supposed to do anything with digital design. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say graphic design, all design, everything is subjective and objective, and it's about possibly your CEO's taste or like the shareholder's taste, the client's taste. Possibly it's about the trends at large or who you're trying to imitate. Maybe it's about your own taste, or maybe it's about that micromanaging boss's taste, but there's really no rule of what's correct and not correct. So I stand by that myself. I don't know if everyone would agree with me. But there really is no right or wrong way here. There is ADA guidelines. Text should be large enough to read. And those are things that people who get hired in this position need to know and learn. But you actually don't have to have it all memorized. But if you throw around those keywords, you'll definitely get hired. And that's enough, because you can look it up. You can look up everything, and you don't have to know it right this second to know that you know it. Like, I trust in you, and I would hire you, probably. Because I just don't think it's such a big deal. We don't have to be such perfectionists about this stuff anymore. It's fluid and it's changing all the time, so I like if you're creative, and that's who I hire. Like, everything else can be taught. Except for the creativity, right? And artistry. So, I want to just say a day in the life starts, like, most jobs are 9 to 5, right? Except they're not. They're, 6 o'clock in the morning. You're starting to get messages from Slack and everything until midnight. And it never ends, and it's all the time. And most companies are like this, especially when you get paid in the 6 figures. and you just keep making, like, getting paid more and more. More and more is put on your shoulders, and more is expected of you. The thing is, all these meetings and all these messages hopefully have a point to them. The point to me is often that the company's too disorganized, or sometimes the company's just failing so miserably. Everyone's just throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, or they're panicking. And that lack of confidence is so obvious to our users and our customers. You ever go on a website and just kind of get like a vibe from it, and you don't shop there? It's palpable how scared companies are. So I don't think you should work at these places long, but it is great to get some money, right? And you spend the day answering these messages and having like these crazy, completely distracting situations with meetings and messages and ever-changing numbers. So imagine if the sale was 50% off, now it's 70% off. That's getting told to me 30 different times in 30 different ways. My boss doesn't know. My boss does know. All the juniors are doing the wrong thing. And then, of course, like, somebody decides, let's change all the fonts to the other style of branding. Like, let's do sans serif for everything. And then somebody else realizes all the images we used aren't part of the sale. So we have to find new images and recrop them and use different logos. And that's basically what you do every day. Everything that you've done, you redo it. And then you make assets for it, which is emails and social media and stuff. And then, like, if there's time, which there isn't, you animate it and try to make videos and try to kind of, make it a bigger campaign or sale. But if a company's doing well, you have a chance to kind of really make an effort here and design something with a branded look, a marketing feel. And that's what's interesting, is that you're kind of a marketing designer more than you'd imagine. You'd think that the marketing team would have a strategy to tell you about. And I think maybe that was something that happened at some point, but now marketing teams are a little bit more looking at ads and redesigning the ads. So if you're kind of on the ads that week, the static ads and the video ads, it's kind of a different part of your job. But I was just talking about when you do website updates and digital marketing. So with ads, that's all about formatting in the right size and then exporting it and then making MP4s and GIFs. And I have some templates that I'm going to sell for those as well. So you could just start with what I have if you're just want to have it all perfectly in order, easy to export. I'm going to make some tutorials as well. And the biggest thing is publishing, right? When it's on the site, that's actually when your job's your job. When it's not complete, of course, because there's so many errors when it first gets published. It's matching what you've designed to what's being published. And that's not as easy as it seems. And that eagle eye is the pixel pushing, the pixel perfection, the pixel polishing. And if you're interested in that and you love kind of going through fine-tooth comb stuff, that's what digital design really should be. It used to be kind of a visual designer. They used to talk about that and say that was, at this size, like, can you still read this logo, visibility. Now, like I said, like, you're doing a hybrid of a million jobs because everyone's been laid off, probably. You used to have a team of like 50 and now you're a team of 2. I'm not even exaggerating that, and I tend to exaggerate everything. It's kind of fun. It depends on your personality. If you're the kind of designer who enjoys finding errors and correcting them and making everything polished and perfect, I think that's what a digital designer really should be doing. But rarely do you get the chance to just do that. You're also the person who has to create everything. So if you're kind of more of the person who's enjoying the creative process, coming up with the ideas, that's me, by the way. That's where I'd love, like, if our team, like, expands someday, to have that chance to just kind of come up with the ideas for each campaign, and then you give it to the juniors and you give it to the production kind of people, and they finish it and complete it. But it's rarely the case anymore. And also that link experience and everything that's clicking through and making sure it looks good on mobile. It's funny also, I should say everything you design should be on a mobile device first, right? But everything that I design is always, like, obsessively done for the desktop site, even though nobody shops on a desktop. It's just, it hasn't changed, and it's been so long. I really hope it does change someday, because mobile just doesn't have as much cool stuff to do as a desktop site. But, I mean, comment below if you've ever shopped on your laptop or desktop in any time in the past 5 years compared to on your phone. I'd really like to hear back as a user experience kind of survey right now. Just a few more things. Digital designers get paid a lot. UX gets paid even more, and so does a digital product designer. So it's all about the money, about, like, going after these jobs. Those jobs get paid way more than a junior designer or a graphic designer or a senior graphic designer or a visual designer, because these jobs are supposed to encompass everything, I guess, or they end up encompassing everything. Don't be afraid, just apply. I'm going to have some interview tips and tricks, and I know it seems like a wasteland out there for jobs right now, and people are getting ghosted, but there's so many opportunities in this, especially because we're all quitting these toxic places after a few months, so the jobs will open up again. A spot will open up at this place, and it'll be good to have some experience. Leave before it kills you. That's why I job hop all the time. And just don't worry about all the red flags. Just go for it. And tell us about your experiences. That's what this is all about. I just wanted to also say, like, my morning, afternoon, and evening, like, try to have it be, like, a cohesive day in the life. And I just realized that, like, it's the whole day, except for sleeping. And it really is. There's not any time for lunch or breakfast or going to any appointments. I barely have ever been able to take a vacation day, let alone a sick day. I don't know how we do it, but eventually it does lead to burnout. It's got to, right? But in the moment, it is kind of fun, especially when you're making something that you think is really pretty and that you like, or you like the photography or the campaign. But that's very dangerous, and we shouldn't be like this anymore. I can't believe we are. Alright, next time I'm going to talk about day in the life of a freelance digital designer. See you then. Bye.